In this module, you will accomplish the following tasks. 1. Create a commit. 2. Write a commit message. 3. Push a commit to a remote branch. A commit can be thought of as a version of your project. Creating a new commit is like updating your project to the next version. Accordingly, you should not commit incomplete code. You do not have to finish a new feature completely before making a commit, but you should never commit code that does not work. It is important to find a balance between these two extremes. For this part, ensure that you are using a remote branch. You can create commits on local branches, but you cannot push them. Make some changes to the files in the branch. For example, I added 2 new untracked files to my directory and modified an existing file. Use git status to see what files have been changed. Any changed files will need to be staged before they can be committed. To stage a file, use the command git add with the file name as a parameter. For example, I want to stage example file.txt. To add all modified files, use git add-A. Do not add files such as personal configuration files, as these will interfere with your teammates' work environments. To prevent accidentally adding a file you do not want to commit, you can use a git ignore file. To create an ignore file, add a text file to the default directory of your repo with the name .gitignore. Any files listed in .gitignore will not be staged or committed. You can add one file name per line and must include the file's location within the repo. For example, now if I add some file named personal.config to the directory, it would not be committed, even if I used git add-A. There are several pattern options for ignoring multiple files available for your .gitignore. For a full list, see the documentation in the quick reference section of this module. After staging your modified files, use the command git commit. Git will open your default text editor and prompt you to add a commit message. It is important to document all of your changes with each commit in case you need to reference a previous commit later. Use the following guidelines for an effective commit message. The first line of the message is the subject line and should briefly indicate what has changed in this commit. The body of the message should explain why the change was made, if and how it fixes any issues, any effects it will have on the project, and any limitations or tasks left to do. Here's a basic example message that involves integrating camera usage with some phone app. The title explains that this commit added camera support. Why make this change? Because users wanted to take their own photos to use with the app. An issue was fixed where the app could crash when loading large photos. One effect on the project is that the team must now develop for users with and without cameras. One limitation is that users can only take one photo at a time. You could also indicate that a task that needs to be done is to allow users to take multiple photos and add them to a gallery. Don't feel the need to describe every little detail of your commit in the message. Too much text can make your commit unreadable and as useless as a blank commit message. When you're done, save the file and close the text editor. If you've changed your mind and don't want to commit right now, close the text editor without saving. If you want to change the commit message, use the command git commit --amend. To add your commit to your remote repo, use the command git push. Confirm that your commit appears under the list of commits on GitHub. Here you can view every commit pushed to a branch and read their commit messages.